Have you heard about George Soros? He's one of the biggest hedge fund managers in the world. But right now, he's the biggest topic of debate here in India. Why? Because Mr. Soros decided to talk about the Hindenburg-Adani controversy. For those unaware, Soros is a politically hyperactive investor. He bankrolls hundreds of NGOs and rights groups across the world, including here in India. But his critics call him a regime change expert, a man who specializes in destabilizing foreign countries. Now, George Soros is no fan of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. We know this. He has criticized the BJP government on many occasions in the past. This time, he has waded into the Adani row. Mr. Soros says Prime Minister Modi and Gautam Adani are close allies. He says the Prime Minister will have to break his silence on the matter and speak out in Parliament. What's more, he believes this controversy will lead to, quote unquote, a democratic revival in India. After hearing all of this, I'm sure there is a lot of curiosity about who this George Soros personality is. So our next report should hopefully answer all your questions.
India is an interesting case. It's a democracy, but its leader, Narendra Modi, is no Democrat.
Billionaire, philanthropist, investment guru. Some words that have been used to describe George Soros. Economic criminal, the man who broke the Bank of England, and regime change Voldemort. A few other words also used to describe George Soros. In the grand scheme of geopolitics and economics, very few men have played a more influential role than Soros. What you make of him depends on where you stand. His life began in Budapest, where he was born to a Jewish family. This was way back in 1930, when Hungary was the Kingdom of Hungary. He lived through the Nazi invasion, the siege of Budapest, and the entire Second World War. His family escaped the Nazi wrath by pretending to be Christians. In 1947, after the war, the family moved to London. It was here that Soros would find his professional calling. He put himself through the London School of Economics, from where he secured a degree in philosophy. In 1956, he moved to New York and analyzed European markets. The rest, as they say, is history. He established multiple hedge funds and made bold investment calls, decisions that gave him near mythical status as an investor. That mythical status was cemented in 1992. Soros borrowed around $10 billion to bet against the British pound. On Black Wednesday, during the UK currency crisis, his instinct was proven right. Soros bagged $1 billion in profit as the pound crashed. It was a daring move that earned him the moniker, the man who broke the Bank of England. Politics always interested George Soros. He's a self-proclaimed progressive liberal. In 1984, he set up the Open Society Foundation to fund NGOs and advocacy groups. During the Cold War, he funded organizations that opposed communism in Eastern Europe. That activism continued into the 21st century. The Open Society Foundation now works in more than 70 countries. A 2017 report claimed it had donated more than $18 billion, making it one of the biggest philanthropic groups in the world. But one's philanthropy can be another's conspiracy. Within America, the Republicans consider him an enemy of the state. After all, Soros is a leading funder of the Democratic Party. He has supported the presidential bids of Barack Obama, Hillary Clinton, and Joe Biden. His support for NGOs and right groups has made him public enemy number one in many countries, including India. His latest comments on the Adani row have only added fuel to the fire.
Modi and business tycoon Adani are close allies. Their fate is intertwined. Modi is silent on the subject, but he will have to answer questions from foreign investors and in Parliament.
The BJP was quick to respond. Union Minister Smriti Irani has called it an attack on India's democracy.
मोदी की इमेज पर वार पहली बार नहीं हुआ है। हिंदुस्तान के लोकतांत्रिक ढांचे पर वार का ऐलान उन्होंने पहली बार किया है जॉर्ज सोरोस ने। This war is trying to be mounted against India. And what stands between that war and our country's interests is Prime Minister Modi.
This isn't the first time Soros has clashed with the BJP government. Right-wing media outlets and BJP leaders have accused Soros of fueling the Rafale scam allegations and even the Delhi riots. They say he's trying to create social unrest and collapse India's economy. The Congress too is distancing itself from Soros. Take a look at what Congress MP Jairam Ramesh tweeted. India's democratic revival has nothing to do with Soros. Our Nehruvian legacy ensures that people like Soros cannot determine electoral outcomes. A rare display of government-opposition unity. There is no denying that George Soros is a powerful entity in global politics. His billions have turned little-known activists into firebrand leaders. It has fueled local protests into nationwide movements. The question is, can his billions influence the world's largest democracy? Or is he a bogeyman for embattled governments?